What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to SHOPcast. I think we're on episode 67 by now. I think last week was 66, or last time was 66. I think it's 67. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, this is actually a special episode. We were going to take the whole month of October off with SHOPcast. They were each going to do an episode of Horror Hangout or two with me, but SHOPcast was going to be put on hold just until the end of the month. Sorry, guys, I had a phone call. I was making sure it wasn't the wife.
But we had to call an emergency meeting.
Yes, we had to call an emergency meeting because when a movie comes out that is absolutely amazing and everybody's ranting and raving about it, you got to make a video about it, especially when you don't agree with everybody. So let's preface this video with, this is just a video about our opinions on a movie. It doesn't mean that we think any different about a person that disagrees with our opinions. I'm not trying to start an argument. I don't want everybody getting mad. If you're gonna get soft and comment and talk shit, go right ahead. It's okay. I understand that. If you're gonna ratio the video because you're mad about it, I understand that. I understand fandom. I just want you to hopefully hear from me firsthand that this isn't an attack on anybody. It's not an attack on the studio. It's not an attack on any of it. It's just, we're about to talk about a movie that everybody seems to really enjoy. And we rarely just flat out agree on things as a trio. Like usually two of us will agree on some stuff and the other one might be kind of like, not really feeling this. But when we left the theater, and that's the thing, it's not like we're not watching these movies legally. We're paying to watch these movies, and we're being disappointed. And this is the third in a row that was a big, big disappointment, specifically for myself. And I'm at a loss, man. 2021 has been a rough year. So we're going to talk about Halloween Kills. If you hadn't noticed yet, it's on the title. So, I mean, I think you'll be probably clicking elsewhere by now, I would imagine. I don't know. Some people just can't handle a different opinion. And look, dude, I'm not judging. It is what it is. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I get it. But hopefully people can listen to what we have to say and maybe give us some insight in the comments as to why they like the movie after they're done, crucifying me verbally. I accept that. It is what it is. But yeah, anyways, this episode's brought to you by Knife Crime Apparel, my apparel company. There is a link in the description to my Instagram page, at least for now. If you're interested in shirts, hoodies, whatever, man. I got all kinds of stuff that I can do in there, and I also have paintings. And I got a lot of new stuff that's fixing to be dropped on my Etsy page and things. So if you're interested in that, you want to support the channel, that's a good way to do it. Otherwise, let's move on to talking about this movie. So we got Josh and Chris here, like we do every week, throughout the year. We went and saw this opening weekend. I was gonna do a review on it. I had to just wait. I asked them if they wanted to do this. I had to go out of town, so we couldn't do it earlier than tonight. I guess you're seeing this on a Thursday or later, so it's been about a week since the movie was out. Honestly, I was hoping that I could let it simmer and maybe have a change of heart, or at least kind of come to terms with, okay, I kind of get it. I just don't. We saw the movie in theaters, all three of us plus Josh's brother-in-law, and I don't think any of us liked it.
And let's start out by saying that we were all really excited about it.
No. I was so fucking excited that, like, I took time out to do other important things to go to the theater with these guys. I skipped out on my normal Friday night stuff. I mean, it was like we planned this out. We've been planning on this for almost a month. We bought tickets like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this wasn't something that we went thinking we weren't going to like it. We went exhausted with not liking things and being ready to really enjoy something. And this is a movie that has a different significance for all of us, but it's a property that we all kind of hold close to us as far as film and specifically horror for different reasons. Even we all three really love this franchise, and I would almost bet my life without even asking them that it's all different reasons. I don't think it's the same for any of us, but that doesn't matter. We all three really love this franchise, and we were really excited because 2018 movie, I thought it was a good movie. I don't think it was great, but I think it was good, and I thought it was heading in a ridiculously good direction. And I thought by the trailer they cut for this movie, or both trailers, I was like, oh, buddy. I mean, I was literally like, I was taking bets with people. I was like, there's no way this movie's going to be bad. Like, I was just very confident. And by the end of the movie, I was afraid to ask them what they thought. I didn't even want to ask these two guys. I was like, oh, Jesus. And then Josh's face, I was like, okay, I get it. We can talk about it, because he was just kind of like, So let's talk about it. Let's go ahead and let me shut my mouth for a minute. I want to know from you two. We'll start with you, Josh, since I was just talking about you. What was it about the movie that you did like first? Let's talk about what we know. You know what? Let's end with the positive stuff, because I don't want to end on a sour note. let's talk about the things we didn't like first. Get that out of the way, and then we'll talk about what things we did like about the movie, because I do think there was a few things about the movie that I enjoyed. Yeah. And I'm being a little generous with that. It was just a few things that I enjoyed, but they were good. The things that were good were really good, oddly enough.
Yeah.
So what was it specifically that bothered you about this movie? And do you have any questions for anybody that might have a very different opinion from us? Because I do.
Well, I'll say my like initial feeling at the end of the movie was just disappointment, because I was so excited. You know, it's like it has so much potential. That's the thing for me.
It really
because
did.
If you're gonna they went back with 2018 and they wiped the slate clean, saying, you know, we're wiping away all of the, like, because I mean I haven't seen all of the Halloween sequels. There's quite a few of them that I haven't seen, but
you're okay.
It's generally regarded as not like a great franchise after, you know, like the first few. You know, most of them are not that well loved. You know, the Rob Zombie ones have their supporters and stuff, but for the most part, you know, it goes kind of off the rails, you know, after Halloween 2.
Yeah. Well, specifically with 3, because it felt like it should have been a different franchise altogether.
Not even really a Halloween movie, but
yeah, which is odd because I really enjoy that movie, but separate conversation.
But yeah, I mean, if they went back and they wiped the slate clean. They're like, okay, you know, Laurie Strode is not related. This is, you know, we want to go back to like the real roots of the original movie, like just Michael and Laurie, and like, you know, do something different, try and right the ship. And I thought the first one was pretty darn good. Like it was headed in the right direction.
Yeah. Like
it wasn't an amazing movie. The director is a little bit of an odd choice. I think it was kind of their idea to do the movie.
Yeah.
But
okay.
David Gordon Green, he's like known for doing like Pineapple Express and like a lot of comedy movies.
I knew his name and I didn't recognize it from horror. So is that what it is? He's a comedy guy normally?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, him and Danny McBride.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wasn't Danny McBride like in the background of these movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, well, yeah, he helped write them for sure.
That's what I mean. Like behind the
behind the scenes. Yeah,
behind the scenes.
He's a writer. They're both writers and producers, and they're both you know comedy guys for the most part.
That answers a lot of questions right there for me personally.
Yeah. But you know, I'm pretty sure I've seen David Gordon Green do at least one or two serious movies before, and definitely leading into, you know, into a Halloween movie, you would expect like them to, you know, to take the tone a little more serious.
Yeah.
And
you know, yes. So
and my main gripe with 2018 was the fact that I thought there was a few too many like dad jokes. Like
that was like that was easily your biggest gripe for sure.
Yeah, because otherwise, I think it's a fairly well-made movie. Like the twist with the doctor is kind of like, okay, they just had to get Michael to Rory's house or whatever. Yeah. Wasn't the greatest twist, but it was solid. Like it was headed in the right direction. It had so much potential. So yeah, this one, like really, like right off the bat, they were just like doubling down on the comedy.
They really do. That's a good way to describe it. It was literally like a double down. Like they were like, all right, we went this big.
Yeah.
Should we tone it down? They're like, no, we should go this big. And it was just like, why though? I understand slashers are oftentimes funny. I understand a lot of the things I'm reading that people are saying. I understand what they're saying, and I agree I agree that it belongs to the genre. I think that they're misunderstanding things, and I think that the execution just wasn't there.
If this was not Halloween, I think I would have less of a problem with it. If it was,
I'd have a much less problem with it.
If it was a random slasher that just, you know, was also sort of a comedy, I probably wouldn't mind that at all. But how are you going to wipe the slate clean and then just, to me, kind of completely shit over all the whole like tone of the series?
That is a humongous issue with me, and like you just said, I agree 100% with. If it was something else, it was kind of like when Chris and I were talking about the Evil Dead movie. My biggest issue with it was that it was related to the Evil Dead franchise.
Right.
Otherwise, I think it's pretty much a perfect horror movie. Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018 are the exact same thing. My issue is they're attached to this franchise that had a much more somber and serious tone. It was much more of an art house flick, the original.
Mm-hmm.
And so even when the second one came out, it was much more violent, but it wasn't funny. And so when they want to connect it directly to the first movie, but you change the tone almost 180 degrees, you get a very strange reaction from people like me specifically, and of course you guys as well. It seems, you know. And Chris, what do you think about the comedy in this? Do you think it just went over the top, or did you like it?
Yeah, I absolutely thought it went over the top, and I like the 18 movie probably better than you. I rewatched it like a week before we watched this.
Yeah, me too.
I like it a lot. Like I think the 18
I like it.
Is more like it has comedy in it as well, but it works a little bit better. It's like actually has some legitimate funny moments in it.
Dude, the stuff with the kid, the little babysitter kid was like hilarious. That was actually was good.
Yeah,
it was
was hilarious.
It was like the scenes where like the two cops are sitting in the car talking about their sandwich and for like 5 minutes. I'm like, why is this in the movie?
Yeah. Well, the 2018 movie, like, let me just make sure people understand my opinion on the movie. I like the movie quite a bit, but I try to reserve myself from being like fanatic about something when I don't think it warrants it, because when I'm a pretty much a black and white guy, so the Halloween 2018 kind of falls in a gray area for me, which is kind of not very common for me specifically. So I'm trying to be careful with it. I do like the movie. I thought it was a good movie. I just didn't think it was, something, groundbreaking. But I thought it went really well with the first movie. And I thought if they toned it down a little bit, it would have been a nice, arch. Start here, hit here, come back to here. And it would have been a nice, trilogy, personally.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you both off.
Okay. That's okay.
It's driving me nuts. I'm reading stuff on this movie that I can't grasp how people have these opinions. I just, like Malignant, I think there's just James Wan fans out there, and that I can understand and accept with no issue at all. And I also think there's people out there that don't like horror that really like that movie because it's not very scary and it's got a lot of action in it and stuff like that. So it crosses over really well. So like, while I don't agree with the opinions on it, I kind of get it. It is what it is. It irritates the fire out of me, but I get it. This movie, I truly don't understand it. So,
and Malignant is his own thing. It's not like
very
standing
true.
on the shoulders of anything else. So
not connected to any other, really important franchise that people are like, tattooing their entire back for and stuff. Yeah. If I ever saw a fucking Malignant back tattoo, I don't know. I might high five that dude. That's balls. That's huge balls.
Somebody get a face on the back of their head.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh, bro, never mind. Somebody please do that. I will help pay for it. Yo, you know what? That would change that movie for me, bro. I would be like, all right, I was clearly wrong about this one. You went balls to the wall, sir. So I got a question for you guys. Something that I was hearing a lot, like I read it like 4 different times in the span of one day, and I just had to get off the internet. People were saying that this was, and I quote, a perfect B-movie slasher flick. Talking about Halloween Kills.
Mm-hmm.
$20 million movie with Jamie Lee Curtis and freaking forgot the director's name. The not the director of this one, but the John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Like backing it and doing the music for it. I don't think that qualifies as a B movie for me personally. I don't. That doesn't. Dude, you hit 20 million in the budget, bro. It's not a B movie, man. Like this movie had advertisement like that cost probably a third of that budget. Like, I mean, B movie really? And I don't think that they were self-aware. I don't think it was intentional camp. I think it was bad writing, bad directing, and even worse acting. The acting in this movie was atrocious. It was laughable, man. It was bad. And I mean,
Blumhouse isn't like the biggest studio in the world, but I wouldn't consider them, B level
No, I don't consider Blumhouse B movies at all. I consider that I feel like they've got some movies that would qualify for that.
Yeah.
That they maybe distribute, but as like a production company, no, man. Blumhouse, dude, that guy's
them
like
them
the
doing
horror
Halloween.
place. That's like, you know, that would be a wild statement if somebody told me Blumhouse was B movies. I don't agree with that at all. They may have some swings and misses, but I don't call them B movies.
Yeah, them doing Halloween movies are not B movies by any means. But now these, like, the thought that crossed my mind is these just kind of felt like Marvelized versions of Halloween.
Yes.
Like they just kind of like it works in Marvel movies because it's freaking comic book movies. It doesn't really matter. But you're taking a very serious, you know, horror franchise and you're just inserting all this comedy into it, which I think, like, the first one, a good bit of it works, and the second one, barely any of it works. So, well, I mean, if it would have actually been funny, you know, maybe it would get a little bit more of a pass. But
you know what I thought multiple times in this movie is I kept having flashbacks to Nightmare on Elm Street. Not their first one, maybe, but like the middle of it, the middle of the franchise. Because Nightmare on Elm Street started with like some comedic elements. And I mean, it got a little silly towards the middle, but like it felt more, like, tonally speaking, like Nightmare on Elm Street. And I thought we were supposed to have three big franchises. One was this way, one was this way, one was this way. You know, you had the more artfully done Halloween. You had like the new campground slasher, like literal B movie stuff. And then you had like the supernatural with some comedic elements. And they were all three very much in their own lane. They followed very strict recipes to make their movie. And this one felt like even like a combo of Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. It didn't feel like a Halloween movie to me. The Michael Myers didn't look or act like Michael Myers to me. Jamie Lee Curtis, I feel it was like a what's the word I'll be looking for here? Like she suffered from the people around her. Like she can act way up here, but everybody else in the movie was down here, and I think it just pulled her down with it. Because did you notice how Michael Myers was moving in the first half of the movie? He was very rigid and stiff. Michael Myers is not, you know, Gumby by any shape of the word, but like he's not like robotic looking like this. I don't know. It struck me as strange. I again, I'm probably nitpicking, but
no, he's very just kind of slow and methodical. And while I liked the scene actually in the beginning, him just annihilating a like firehouse is a little out of character. I think like he's not a freaking mixed martial artist. He's not John Wick. Like he John Wicked that entire and he's just
okay, now that I don't agree with. I was actually going to make that was going to be one of my points that I thought was positive, that he didn't
like the scene.
That.
Yeah,
well, I don't feel like he did any of that. I feel like it was on par for him, a little out of character as far as who he was killing, but I thought that every kill in the movie felt appropriate as far as how it was executed. Now, it's very subjective, so whatever you think is not wrong either. But like, I didn't feel like there was no like chokes or arm bars. Like it didn't feel like MMA to me. It felt like he was utilizing the things around him, and he was kind of OP. That's what it felt like to me. Yeah,
it suffered from just kind of that standard, like one at a time. Like you're fighting a big group of people, and you know it's this person's turn. He kicks that guy's ass.
Okay,
and then this person comes in, he kicks that guy's ass. It's like if you crowd him, like he's done.
Yeah, no, that I understand. I wasn't thinking about it from that perspective. That makes more sense.
Or they would run away after like the second or third guy died. They would run away.
Wouldn't you?
Yes.
If somebody murdered me and Chris, I don't think you're going to stand around and get murdered too. You might be sad about it.
If a guy comes out of a flaming building wearing a mask and like holding a scythe or whatever it was,
look, there was a lot of things
everybody
about the movie that I enjoyed, but it was like they were spread out so far that I didn't get like a segment of stuff that I enjoyed. Like I can't point to like a 10-minute segment of the movie that I think is like, okay, but this part of the movie was great. No, there was like little things that happened that were cool. Instead of having like segments that were great. Like honestly, this movie, they should have toned down the family part of it, because her whole family being involved, honestly, not a fan, dude. Like, I don't like the characters, don't like the actors. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a personal problem with the actors, but I don't think they did a good job in the movie. I don't think none of them were like, look, I hate to be this guy, but in a slasher flick, if you want to make it right, you want to use the recipe the right way, it needs to be a hot chick, dude. None of those chicks qualify as that to me. Again, subjective statement, but I don't know that I'm seeing a lot of people go, yeah, what's the blonde woman's name? Like, she's a cool woman. I like her fine. And the young lady is cool too. But like, I don't consider them very attractive personally. And it's not, I don't think they're ugly by any shape of the word, but like, I just go, huh. So if you're following this, like I said,
Judy Greer is like annoying in every movie too, to me.
Well, the first one specifically, she was really bad in the first one because she's just like, I don't believe you, man. It's like, come on, can this last a whole movie? And I don't want to pile on that movie because we've already agreed that that's a pretty good movie. But like, yeah, her character's not enjoyable. Like, I mean, how many things can we possibly point out that are positive about this movie? I would say maybe a small handful versus the mountain of things that we could come up with that drive us nuts. And I meant to ask, I may not even have said the words, but did you think that this was a self-aware movie? Did it feel like they did this intentionally? Because I didn't feel that way.
I didn't feel that way. I mean, if they did, then fine, more power to them. But
I mean,
me, it didn't. That's the reason I didn't like it, is because it didn't. If it would have felt more self-aware, then I might have enjoyed it a little bit more.
Honestly, if they'd thrown like a fourth wall break in there, it wouldn't have fit the franchise very well, but it would have made the movie a little bit more, oh, I get it. But there was not even like a semblance of that. This is like one of those movies where like Josh's favorite movie, The Fanatic. So like that movie, it's like they tried to make a good movie. They even think it's a really good movie, which is what makes it so ridiculous and bad. But that makes it fun, quote unquote. Like they really should have just switched the roles and it would have made more sense. But that's what makes it so hilarious, is that they didn't do that. They used the wrong guy in the wrong role, but they had both available. It didn't make any sense. This movie, it's like it was going that direction, but it stopped right before it got to like that point to where like so bad it's good. It just halted. It was like, let's go on there, and it's just not going to make it because they didn't do the little bitty things that are accidental. Like they really did try to make a good movie, I think. And I don't understand the casting choices. Like, what was the? I don't know, man. I think they went too far with fan service, and that messed it up.
I mean, my biggest gripe, I think, is the dialogue. Like, the dialogue is terrible,
dude. When they were chanting in the police station or whatever, I was like trying to hide. I was embarrassed. I was like, oh, this is bad, man.
Yeah, like I didn't mind the idea of like the mob and like the repercussions of like the mob mentality and stuff like that. But the way they executed it was terrible.
It matches social media pretty well. So I mean,
the dialogue is all like them chanting, "Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight, and tonight evil dies."
How many times?
Maybe evil's gonna die tonight. Yay! This is only the second movie of a trilogy. You guys think evil might die tonight? Like,
well, that's the one thing that I'm seeing kind of a unanimous agreement about. Is that evil dies tonight. But I mean, that is like the cherry on top of all the stuff that I have a problem with, because like I feel like they had an opportunity to make a movie that could have had some Easter eggs in it, some characters that were from way back when, and it would have made sense, right? But like, did the nurse from the car need to be in this movie? I don't think so. Like the nurse that drove him in the very first movie, I don't understand why they had to have every single person from that movie show back up in this one just to say they did it, and to have all the Easter eggs, just to say that. I think that they went so far in a direction that it did them a disservice, and I'm really just kind of bummed, and I know that people are going to disagree with this, and I can't wrap my head around it. I don't understand. Yeah. Like why that, just because they did it, it doesn't make it a good movie. Because I'm hearing a lot of, well, yeah, but they did this because they knew we were going to like that. Okay, but they didn't do it well. Like, right. If you ask me to draw you a tree, and I draw you a stick tree with like a, Q-tip top, and go, here you go. Just because I did what you asked me to do doesn't mean you're going to frame it, put it on your wall. That's ludicrous.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a lot of people making the argument of like, what did you expect? It's a Halloween movie. And I'm like, what kind of
argument? Give me
argument?
a Halloween movie.
Yeah, exactly. This is not a Halloween movie to me. Like,
No.
Yeah, to Chris's point, it feels like it's kind of just playing to the lowest common denominator, like like a Marvel movie. It's just like it's being as brutal as possible because they know that like any horror fan is gonna enjoy that, and they're gonna make people laugh, so they're having a good time all the way through it. You gotta have Big John and Little John making you laugh.
It feels kind of like they did that, like they had a task at hand that once they got there and they realized like how kind of important and big it was, they were like, okay, what's the, like you were saying, like what's the easiest way to not fall on our face? Okay, brutal and funny, because everybody likes brutal and funny, except that that's not this. If that's how you were going to approach this, maybe you should have just handed it over to somebody else that was going to do it, because I feel like they did this movie disrespectful. Like I really do. The more I think about it, the more I feel like almost offended that that's what they gave me for Halloween. I wasn't kidding when I said it felt more like Friday the 13th than Freddy Krueger. It did. It felt like those movies. Those aren't Halloween. That's one of my biggest gripes about the original Halloween. It's too art house. It's one of my favorite movies, but like it's on my list of like the top franchises. It's not in the top 3 for me personally because of that. But that's what I wanted when they said, here's a Halloween movie. I'm like, okay, that's what I expected after seeing these movies for my whole life. I'm like, okay, this will be a little more serious. This will be a little more dark. It wasn't dark. It was like, no, it wasn't dark. It just, I don't know, man.
No,
that's why. Sorry, Chris, but that's why I prefaced like my first thought with like, if you're gonna wipe the slate clean, why would you do it to do this?
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's a really good point.
It's like
because. Man, we're gonna get roasted because there's gonna be nothing but fans of this that come and watch this video, I would imagine. And so whatever. But anybody that's watching it that really wants to talk about it, I really do want to know like what made it enjoyable. Because how'd you, first off, if you're watching this and you're gonna comment, how'd you feel about the acting? How'd you feel about the dialogue? And do you think it fits with the franchise like we're saying? Because those are the main 3 issues for me: is the dialogue, the acting, and it just doesn't fit. So what is it about this that's making you really enjoy it and want to go watch it a second time or buy it on Blu-ray or whatever? Because I'm not even sure I'm going to buy this movie. That bums me out, dude. Like the fact that I'm like considering not buying a Halloween movie is insane to me.
Yeah, I refuse to buy this. I'm hoping that Halloween Ends rights the ship, and I'm just gonna pretend this movie doesn't exist.
So
like, but I'm not like, I'm less angry about the movie and just more disappointed because
I think I'm more disappointed as well. I think it's more of a disappointment and confusion.
It just bums me out. Like I'm just really bummed because I really wanted to enjoy it, and I don't understand the thinking.
Yeah,
I get it's a middle movie. It's like it feels like it should have just been 2 movies, and this is just like the filler episode in the trilogy.
The fact that this is going to be the middle movie of a trilogy, I had honestly forgotten about that until just now. I don't know how I feel about a third one coming. I don't. So I'm a pretty optimistic guy, as you guys know. I'm always thinking of like, well, this could be good though. So I'm probably going to end up seeing it in the theaters. I'll sit here and say that I'm going to be like, nah, I'm not going to see it. Man. Dude, when it starts showing trailers, I'm going to get all pumped for it. And
it's going to look awesome, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I'm going to be all psyched and hopeful. So for anybody out there that wonders, we paid to see this movie, man. We're fans of this stuff, which is why we're upset about it. If I wasn't a fan, I wouldn't be making a video. Like, I just wouldn't waste my time doing it. I don't want to just keep piling on it. We've kind of said our piece about it. I don't think there's really much else to talk about as far as how bad it was, because it just was. There was a lot of objective things that were done wrong, like just things that you can't really argue against. This wasn't done right. Now, we will never know if it was done intentionally with self-awareness, because at this point, if you asked somebody involved with the movie with the tone of voice that I would be asking that with, they would automatically go, oh yeah, it was intentional. And I wouldn't know if they were telling the truth or not. So we'll never know. I feel as though it was not intentional at all. They accidentally made a bad movie. People really like this movie. it's mind-boggling to me. That being said, I do want to say some positive things because I think there are some things to talk about. It's gonna be a short segment, guys. Look, I'm just being a smartass, but like there really isn't a lot. But the things that I liked, I really did like. I liked the score. Josh was dead on with that. I'll let you talk about that for a minute. The score was fun. I really enjoyed it.
No, the score was just really...
What'd you say when we walked in the theater?
Yeah, well, we were sitting down right as the movie was starting. I was sitting next to you, and I was like, I heard the score come on, and I was like, this might be my favorite part of the whole movie.
I didn't doubt that a second, though. When you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, you're probably right, dude. I was like, you probably are going to like this the best, because it was awesome.
But you were laughing, and you were like, yeah, it's definitely not going to be the kills. And I was like, well, I've seen a lot of kills, but John Carpenter's score is still special. So
I didn't actually think I was right about that. I thought I was being an asshole. Turns out I was right, and it wasn't the kills. But like, so the score was really good. I like the score a lot. It had a, dude, I don't know what the hell's going on my face. I'm sorry, guys. It had a John Carpenter feel, which like you said is special. That's something we don't get often anymore. He's not out there making movies all the time. I mean, isn't he like retired from actually directing?
Yeah, he's retired from directing.
He
makes music all the time though. He tours with his son. Like they're basically.
I did know that. I think that's really cool. I'm really glad he does that kind of stuff. But like,
yeah,
the score was really enjoyable, and it did have like the score might have been like the best part even to me actually, because the more I think about it, the more I kind of would like to hear it by itself. Like,
yeah, the next morning after the movie, I just put on the score while I was like folding clothes and just listened.
You listen to scores more than I do, so that's something I'm not surprised you did. I don't think about it. Like, I don't have a problem with listening to scores. I just don't like. It's not something that I go, oh, I should go check this out. I've only got one that I own on vinyl, and I bought that for a really specific reason. I've listened to it a couple times, but the score was really good. I think that the kills in this movie, again, another complaint, but I was expecting more. I kept hearing that it was going to be this just grand murder fest, and I didn't feel like it was. There was big gaps in between anything exciting happening, and I just wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be like nonstop, like to a point where I felt like I was gonna leave going, ooh, that might have been a little much with the killing. And I don't feel like that at all. I think that it was a little tame for what I was expecting. Based on the way that they advertised this movie and put it out there, it felt like they were saying, you guys have no idea what you're in for. And then when we watched it, it was like, I mean, that was a little more than he would normally do, but I don't know. It certainly wasn't as much as like, say, something like Terrifier. I mean, it just wasn't. I was expecting something on that level, and I was a little disappointed with that. But the kills that we got, I really did enjoy them. They were a lot more fun. I like the banging the head on the wall thing was cool, and there was some cool things they did with the kills, which I did enjoy.
Yeah, the daughter's friend or whatever, him getting his freaking head bashed on the staircase.
Oh
like,
yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Like that was one of the better moments of the movie.
Yeah, the fluorescent light in the lady's neck. Yeah.
I thought that I liked. There's everything that I think is a pro about this movie also has just an equal amount of stuff that bothered me about it, because like I liked the Easter eggs, but I didn't need 530 of them. Like every time you blinked, it was something else that was like a throwback to something else, and you're like all the way down to every single person that was in the movie was, they said something that Jamie Lee Curtis. Sorry, go ahead.
Again, I was just gonna say again, if you're gonna wipe the slate clean, why are we going back to everything before? Like, I it's cool to throw in a few small things, but like they shouldn't be like waving a flag.
Well, like, as an example, I love my favorite part of the movie. Let me change what I said a minute ago, because I know what my favorite part of the movie was. My favorite part of the movie is that they had the masks from Halloween 3 in the movie. I am a big fan of Halloween 3 because I'm a big fan of the lead actor. I'm drawing a blank on his name, so I sound like a dumbass. Whatever.
Big fan.
Love that guy.
No, he's in like 517 movies that I watch, and like I can't remember his name, but everything I try to see him, I get excited because he's somebody that I know from 80s horror. So I'm like, yeah, that guy's awesome. But now I feel really dumb actually. So
sorry, I was just making fun.
No, I felt it wasn't you do nothing you were gonna say was gonna change that. My brain was already like, dummy, should have looked it up before you opened your mouth.
But the masks were in 2018 also.
Oh, were they? I didn't. Dude, I've only seen that movie twice, and it was a long while back.
But it's not waving a flag. It's like very subtle. They just like walk by on the street. Like you see them like go up and get candy from somebody's house, and then they walk away.
Okay. Well, see, I mean, they were kind of subtle in this one. They weren't waving a flag. They were just there, but they didn't like say anything on them. They didn't have like a tag. There was no thing where it said Halloween 3 or even like Season of the Witch brand. It wasn't even nothing like that. So I liked that. That was probably my favorite part because I liked that movie a lot, and I think that it gets a bad rap, deservedly so. But there was a lot of things that were like sprinkled in the movie that were like sort of enjoyable, but none of it added up to much. And whenever I hear a lot of people saying that the kills were so good in the movie that that's all that matters, and I would say, okay, if that's the case, how long was this movie? Dude, I'm really bummed about that guy's name now. Hold on.
It's closer to 2 hours, I think. It
was pretty long.
I think it was like 150 or something like that. It's definitely longer than the original.
105 minutes. So
okay, so it's an hour and 45 minutes. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Tom Atkins. I almost said Bob Atkins. I'm glad I didn't. It's Tom Atkins. I'd rather have to look it up. Anyway, so it's an hour and 45 minutes. If the kills are the most important part of this movie, then tell me why, if you add up all the screen time that Michael Myers had, I would say it's probably less than 20 minutes. Maybe not even that much. You think?
I mean, maybe. I really, I'm not sure. I don't have the complaint with the kills because I feel like there was plenty of kills.
No.
At least.
All I'm saying is if that was the most important part, and how come the most important part is only a small fraction of the runtime? That doesn't make sense to me. You can't tell me, like, very rarely do you have a movie where just a small portion makes it a good movie, and that's usually when the ending is so damn good it warrants the whole, runtime. Right. That's not what this was. This movie started with a bang, and the first few minutes were pretty exciting. We were like, oh man, we might be getting something special here, and then it just kind of fizzled out. And again, when you tell me that the kill, I mean, even I don't know, I just don't get it because it had just these big gaps of. But I did like them. I'm trying not to be negative. Yeah. I can't help it. This movie's just
it's just like, okay, so Michael Myers doesn't have that much screen time in the original Halloween either. But
the whole rest of the movie was very well crafted.
Yeah, and I'll preface it by saying that I don't think that the characters in the original Halloween are like great characters, other than Donald Pleasence. I think we all like Donald Pleasence.
Hell yeah.
As Loomis.
Yeah.
But there's no Loomis in this movie.
And Jamie Lee Curtis started off being something like, she turned out to be a legendary final girl and Scream.
Yeah, I think we all legitimately like Jamie Lee Curtis's character in the movie. We empathize with her. She's kind of shy. Like we're rooting for her throughout the movie.
Absolutely.
There is nobody to root for in this movie.
There's really not. Nobody's very likable. Even
Anthony Michael Hall. What? Yeah. The guy that's playing Tommy Doyle.
Okay. Yeah. He's so bad
with the bat. It's just like, why is this the main character of the movie?
He was so bad that
it was. Yeah. There's nothing. There's nothing relatable or likable about it.
Well, and that storyline went nowhere, too. Like.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just ended up chasing after a guy that wasn't him, and I mean that was kind of the point of that little side story, but the side story was pointless.
Well, look at the characters. All of them were kind of shitty people, like kind of, with the exception of Jamie Lee Curtis. But even then, she didn't feel like the same Jamie Lee Curtis from the first, second,
and had nothing to do.
She didn't feel like it. Like to go back to what you said, Josh. Why wipe the slate clean if you're just going to give us something that's not it? What just kind of dawned on me right now, what just kind of occurred to me, I feel like I should have thought of this days ago, but I think where we're finding ourselves in a different situation than the people that are liking this movie is because the two groups have completely different expectations.
Yeah.
Like to a degree that's like, it's black and white. They want it to go, I would say the people that liked it are probably younger. They're probably not movie people like we are. Like, I would consider myself a movie guy. Like, that's what I do pretty much every day. I would say that most people that are liking this movie are either horror fans that probably are less into the A24 type stuff and just want some, for lack of a better word, typical stuff. Or they're not really horror fans. They're just people that wanted to go see Halloween because it's a scary movie with lots of kills in it, right? Whereas we went to go see the story unfold. And we wanted some more, we wanted more of the story. I don't know how else to say it. And I'm not saying that it's good or bad that we had that expectation. I'm not saying that we are right or wrong or that anybody else is. One thing I hope people get to this point so they can hear me say this, I don't have an issue with somebody liking the movie. I just don't understand why they like it. That's where I'm not saying that you're wrong or that I have a problem with you. I don't want to be told how I'm wrong all the time. So please don't start doing that, because then we will argue about it. But like, that's not my point. My point isn't that you're wrong. My point is I don't get it. Like, the whole point of this video is that we don't understand why it's getting rave reviews from the fans. Like, it's got to be because they were just in there for a different reason. I think what we wanted from the movie might have varied a little between the three of us, but I think we all kind of wanted to see how the story unfolds. Because
if you're down for just a silly, fun roller coaster ride and you don't really care that much about Halloween, okay,
then they probably would enjoy the movie because they don't care about how bad the acting is or how good it is, and they probably don't even know about the store. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that we probably are just a different, not good or bad or high or low. It's just we're in a different room. They're in this room. We're in this room, and I would imagine some people are going to watch this video and probably feel similar to how we feel about it. But because I'm going to put in the title that it's not a positive review, so that way at least somebody that might agree with us might watch it just to see what we say about it. I don't know. I'm not trying to just bag on the movie. I did that with *Malignant*, but I truly hate that movie. This one is a mind blower. I don't get it. I don't.
Well, I have a friend that introduced me to this movie, and is the reason. Or the series, and is the reason that I love this series so much. It is his favorite thing in the world, and he didn't love the movie. We didn't have a face-to-face conversation or even a phone call about it. I just go by off what he said on social media and stuff. But he liked the movie, and that I don't get. So it goes a little bit against what you just said. He loves it. He makes horror movies. That's his job. Well, his job is to make movies, but his passion is making horror movies. He's actually made like 3 movies. Well, and he loves this movie, and he's defending.
But he loves the movie. Like, he thinks it's really good.
He didn't love this movie. He liked it. He called it pretty good, and he's been defending it that I've seen. And one of the things I've seen elsewhere said about it too is, people want like new versions of beloved characters. You want not everybody wants reboots and remakes, but you want a new Michael Myers movie. So you get a new Michael Myers movie, and then you're gonna bitch about it. It's like, because
I bitch when you give me a fucking. If I go to McDonald's for a cheeseburger and they give me one that's been sitting on the counter for an hour. Just because I got the cheeseburger doesn't mean I'm satisfied. What the fuck does that even mean, dude? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I want the movie of a character that is already established, who's got an established like personality, established. The whole thing is already established. Like if that is the case, then we should have just had another Rob Zombie one, because that is a different Halloween movie.
Yeah.
True. It's pretty messed up when a movie that I've bagged on for years, the Rob Zombie Halloween movie, is more enjoyable to me than this one, because that is a different Halloween movie. It's the whole thing's different. I don't like it much, but I understand that one, and I understand why people do like that one. This one I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I think the point of that is from the other perspective is, it's a good movie. It may not be the best Halloween. It may not be the best representation of Halloween, and that's where I disagree. Is it could be a little different. And this 2018 movie was a little different, but it was a better movie, so it got a pass. Like, if this was anything else other than Halloween, it would still be a bad movie. Yeah, just the fact that it is Halloween.
Exactly right.
the fact that it is Halloween makes it an even worse movie.
Yeah. That's where I think we're all like coming to a very stiff agreement. Man, I tried to go positive, couldn't even get there, bro. I really was like trying to say some it's just there's not enough redeeming qualities from this movie for me to really. Man, look, I'm looking at my shelf. Like I just happened to look over here and I see The House on Sorority Row. Have either of y'all seen that movie? Josh? No. Not a good movie. I own 2 copies of it. Because I like horror movies, and they don't have to be good movies for me to enjoy them. But that movie is not attached to another franchise that I give a shit about. Yeah. Like you said, that makes it a much worse offense to somebody like me, at least, and I think to you guys as well, that it's already a beloved franchise. Like, I don't understand how people can say, well, you asked for it, you get it, and you bitch. Well, no. We asked for it. You give it to us wrong. We have the right to be upset about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not entitled to anything. Look, the guy made a movie. I couldn't replicate this movie. I don't think I can make one as good as this, but that's not my job. My job is not to make movies. I can go in the garage and make a painting. I'm good at that. Not fucking amazing or anything, but I'm good at it. Like, I can make a serviceable painting. You give me some things that you like, and I can create something that would be attractive to you. Okay, well, you got paid a lot of money to do this. This movie had a pretty big budget. You know, I don't think that I will say that the practical effects, I did genuinely appreciate that. Because that's one thing that we all three really like. Specifically me, I oogle over that shit. It's my favorite thing about horror movies is the practical effects. And I think they did an A1 job on that. Like, legitimately good job. The score, legitimately good job. I don't know that I can say anything else about the movie that was just that good. Anything. The dialogue, like you said, was just horrendous. The acting was very bad. And I feel bad for Jamie Lee Curtis because I do think that she suffers from the people that were around her. And I don't understand all the...
Well, she just has nothing to do in the movie. She has nothing.
She really would have been better off not in the movie, or maybe like showing up at the very end and then being in a third one.
Yeah, I mean, this is not like a progression of the story of the last one. It's literally like a diversion. Like, it loops around to an alternate side story and then loops back.
I want to hear, maybe I'll look up some interviews or something or whatever, because I am curious. I have a lot of questions about it. And look, if the questions get answered and I can go, oh, okay, I'm not going to change my mind on my opinion of the movie, but I will absolutely stop talking about it. I won't. Why would I have a reason to talk about it if they answer my questions? That's the whole point. Is we have questions and they're not being answered. I'm being responded to as if I'm a psycho or something. Like, you didn't like it. Like, I haven't even talked to many people about it because I don't want to get jumped on, dude. I'm like, I've been asked by like 8 or 9 people in the last couple of days, hey, did you see Halloween Kills yet? I'm like, hey. I just go, yeah, I saw it. I saw it last weekend. Oh, okay, and then I don't even. Unless they ask me something specific, I don't answer it because this year has been really tough for me because I don't want to be known as the negative the negative horror movie guy. Like, I'm not that guy. I like a lot of movies. I like movies that you guys think are garbage. So, I mean, like, I don't have a problem with movies being low budget and bad acting. I do have a problem when they give you the resources to make a good movie and you just fucking don't do it. Like, I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
But anyways,
agreed.
We're going to keep repeating ourselves and talking in circles. The movie was not good. I would love to know. What I was going to say is the question I have is what made them write the movie with these particular characters in it, knowing it's a trilogy? Or was it just because people are going to say it's fan service, which I think is part of the reason. I hate to say this. I think it was strictly a cash grab. Because they had a choice. They could have either done 1 or 2 or 3 movies. They chose to do 3. Like you said, Josh, this is a complete diversion from the storyline. So that tells me a lot. If it's a complete diversion from the storyline and it had almost nothing to do with the previous movie other than it was connected by like it being the same day or whatever, they had to go and write this movie and write a movie that took a detour. Mm-hmm. So I would love to know why. Look, if it was just a cash grab, honestly, I can respect that. Everybody got to get paid. So if they go, yeah, man, it's just a cash grab and it wasn't going to be good. But the third one is not a cash grab. It ends the story and blah, blah, blah. I may not believe it at first, but I'll go watch it. You know, honesty works, man. It may not be an answer I wanted to hear, but I can respect that. If you tell me I did it for the money, I can respect that. I have a hard time believing that we're going to get that answer from anybody. I think most fans are going to say, no, it was to please the fans. Well, they didn't please the fans, at least in our circle. So, bummer.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it could have been, you know, we have 2 really good movies and we want to make them. It's like, nah, but let's make 3 and you got a deal. It's like, okay, sure. Let's stretch it out to 3 movies. And
that's what it feels like. The more I'm thinking about it, the more it feels like Josh was pointing out. But once you started talking about that, I started thinking, and I'm like, yeah, man, it really is a detour from the story. So I'm thinking it was just an opportunity. It was probably in the contract. You know, it's got to be 3 movies, not 2. And I'm not even saying that. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just asking. You know, like I said, I would respect and accept that answer. We did it for the money. Okay, I get that. I don't even have a problem with that, man. Everybody's got to get paid. If you ask somebody at a car dealership or like a mechanic's place, if they have an opportunity to bill you for 5 hours, even though they could have billed you for 4, do you think they're going to bill you for 4? No, they're going to get the extra money. I'm not judging that. I'm not giving it. It is what it is. I get it. I've done it. I respect it. It is what it is. We all have to make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time that we can, because that's how you take care of yourself. But man, it's a bummer when it happens to something you really care about. That's about how I feel about it. Yeah. It's like, shit, man, maybe next time, you know? I will end this podcast by saying that I am a fan of horror. I have every right in the world to be pissed about this because I pay for this stuff. I pay to go see the movies. I spend money at the concession stands. I tip my wait staff. I buy the Blu-rays. I buy the merch. I make videos about it. I spend my time doing this. So if you have a problem with what I'm saying, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm trying to not be just a shit starter and a shit talker on the internet. I really am, man. I haven't done that in a long time. I started my channels not that way. I wasn't mature, to be honest. I just wasn't, and I thought I was having fun. I have goals now, so please come at me with a little bit of respect, because I earned the right to say this stuff. I don't care if you agree. If you don't agree, you're not listening, or you're just being a turd. But like, you know, I just want people to understand that I care about this, or I wouldn't be wasting so much time talking about it. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a bummer that I have to defend myself at this point, because I shouldn't have to. I'm going to go see the next Halloween movie when it comes out. I'm sure I will.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem if you like the movie. Enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. I don't want anybody wasting their time. That's silly. I'm not petty and spiteful. I just don't understand things sometimes. And I'm the kind of guy that will question it until I get an answer that I can wrap my head around. So I appreciate your time. I'm glad you watched it with us, guys. You have anything else you want to talk about with the movie?
No, not really. I don't see any point to.
Yeah, I mean, at this point we're just talking in circles, but
yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse or anything. I thought the flashback scene was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fake Loomis was pretty good until you did a close up. So
okay, I forgot about the fake Loomis thing. That was pretty cool. But like, look,
and that was practical too. That was like a 15-piece like.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's not deep fake. It's like there's a prosthetic that they put on.
That's cool. See, like that's the kind of stuff that I wish they would do. Spend your time doing things like that with a movie like this. Spend your money on stuff like that. I think you'll just get an overall better product without even having to really try. If you're just spending your money on things like that, those are smarter decisions. And you know, yeah. This is just a conversation, man. It's not a big deal. I'm not gonna. If you talk shit, I don't really care at the end of the day. Just do what you gotta do. I'm just disappointed, man. I wanted this movie to be awesome.
Like I don't think we were disrespectful or ripped it apart for just out of spite or anything. We're all just like we wanted to really like it, and we were all just bummed, you know.
Yeah. I'm a huge Halloween fan and Michael Myers fan. I don't want to dislike it. It's disappointing.
I've spent so much of my time and money doing horror movie stuff, and like buying it, watching it, and like rewatching it, learning it, studying it, learning things from you guys, especially you, Josh. I've learned things from you because I've had to ask you questions about stuff so that I approached a video the right way, or had the right language, knew the right stuff. Like, you know, understand cinematography a little bit more. I didn't really understand that at all until we started talking movies. It's been a little while now. I always want to say like a year ago, but it's been like 3.
Yeah,
but
it's been a while.
You know, and so like, I don't know, man. I wonder if I would have liked this more 10 years ago. Like, I think I probably would have. I gotta be honest about it. I think I would have, because 10 years ago, I didn't care as much as I do now. Like, I still cared about horror. It's still my favorite genre. I still watched them, but like, it's becoming like kind of my life at this point, you know. And I don't know. Especially when COVID kind of is like running things right now. We only get so many opportunities to go out and see a movie, and so I think even if this same exact movie had come out pre-COVID, we might have had a different opinion on it. You know, we can't tell because we won't have that opportunity. But like, I do think that it's a lot of circumstance in addition to execution. Kind of made it just a little harder hit. I don't know how you feel about that. It's just something I wanted to acknowledge, that I do think that in a different world, a different time, this movie might not have upset me as much, might not have bothered me at all, either being younger or non-COVID related, because it does, when you have so much stress going on in your real life, when you go to something like this, you know, it does matter. It matters.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think our standards are lower, or at least for me, my standards are a little bit lower because of COVID, because we've got so few like high quality movies.
Yeah.
So
I don't think my standards have changed much, to be honest, because I think my standards are pretty low. Anyways, as I was saying that, I was like, you know, but I think had we not had a handful of movies come out this year that I was, 1, excited for, and then 2, disappointed by, this might again not have bothered me quite as much, because I was not a fan of Spiral, but I'm a humongous fan of Saw. And so that one was like the first one of the year that just got me, and I was like, damn it. And it just kept kind of happening to me. And again, very subjective statements here, but I didn't like any of the movies that came out this year, really. I thought that the movies that came out that I enjoyed weren't really horror movies. That's a first for me. It's, you know, I think we got Antlers this year still.
Yeah.
We've got the Black Phone. Is it Black Phone?
That's Black Phone.
That comes out early next year. So, I mean, there's still stuff coming in the next 6 to 8 months that could completely redeem the last 12 months of stuff for me. I don't hold grudges. So if a movie comes out that's awesome, I'm not going to even think of the movies I didn't like very much. I'd already forgotten about Spiral as an example, because I didn't really care for it. So like, you know, so again, I'm optimistic, man. I'm already thinking of ways to like make the year better for me. But like, it's been a pretty tough year for me personally with my personal tastes in movies. I didn't really get very many winners this year. Although I will say Nicolas Cage did bring me a bunch of things I enjoyed this year. He pulled some weird shit out of his hat this year. Did y'all both see Pig already?
I did, yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but the Blu-ray comes out in like a couple of weeks. So
really? I'm gonna grab that one. Chris, what'd you think?
Yeah, Pig was awesome. Pig is, I mean, definitely I think in my top 3.
Yeah, that's my favorite movie of the year so far. It's perfect.
Everybody's saying it's great. I just never got to it.
I'm pretty excited to hear your thoughts on it, Josh. Even if you did end up not liking it, I'm excited to hear you talk about it, because I did enjoy that one. And you know,
I haven't really heard any negative about that movie, really. So
yeah, I haven't either, which is really happy for me, because he's such a, you know, iconic. I mean, shit, I got a really super what's the word I'd say here? Like
he's watching
homoerotic pillow behind me that I genuinely like, and for the wrong reasons. No, I'm just playing. But I'll end the podcast right now by saying this. I respect everybody's opinion in my group of people, and I would consider anybody watching this video my group of people, enough to where what I haven't done with this movie that I did do with movies like Malignant and Spiral, and even Candyman to a certain extent, is I would like fire back on the internet. I haven't done that with this movie at all, and I think it's because what we had said earlier really rings true. I'm not mad about the movie. I was mad about Malignant and Spiral because I felt like I was duped and my time was wasted. This one is a disappointment. And so I just want everybody to understand it. I'm not on there trashing it. I'm not going to do that. It's not happening. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can watch more of our videos, because this has been a rough year for like I said. But I will try to put some energy into finding some movies that I know I'm going to like. I'll watch them, review them thoroughly, and hopefully you'll have some positivity coming your way from this channel, because I love doing this stuff. I care about you guys. I appreciate your time. Appreciate your support. And yeah, man, until next time, we will see you guys later. Take care of yourselves, be kind to everyone else, and we'll see you next time. Peace.